Right.
So it's kind of funny in that we have to do this on our disclosure. All of our speakers have to disclose if they have any kind of connections or whatever, and and some do, that they consult for certain firms. But for the most part, people can gather that they're still being very objective. What we don't hear about is the fact that NIDA, the National Institute on Drug Abuse, or the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, or the Drug Czar's Office, the Office of National Drug Control Policy, all of those entities, part of their job description is that marijuana is an illicit drug, and you only get to talk about its negative properties. NIDA always reminds some researchers, hey, we're the National Institute on Drug Abuse, not for drugs. So here we are trying to give a conference on cannabis and give people the real science and letting them know that our researchers are, if they have anything to disclose, here it is, although most of them don't. But on the other hand, the public, I think, believes that if you hear something from NIDA or the DEA, that they're giving you the full story. But their mandate, working in any of those jobs, working for the DEA, NIDA, or the Drug Czar's Office, their mandate is that you uphold the prohibition of these illicit drugs, marijuana being included. So to an extent, their job depends on them continuing the lies about the negative effects of cannabis.
Right.
And I don't think people get that. Somehow they want to believe, which we should believe, we should be able to believe that our government is going to be truthful with us. But it's pretty clear that they're not. This is totally a political maneuver. There's, cannabis is illegal based on false premises. Every study that's looked into it, every national federal commission, every international commission, they come back with the same answer. The prohibition of cannabis is far more harmful to society than the plant itself.
Right.
I think one Schedule 1. I mean, over and over this is said, and yet it still stays in Schedule 1.
I think that what really needs to happen is we need to get vocal about it. We need to say, listen, we are not going to keep anyone in office who is going to put us in jail for trying to heal ourselves, or for any type of
and many places are doing that, and very successfully. And
even recreational use. It's not their job. They are there to protect us. They are not there to police us.
Exactly. And it's backwards. We've got police trying to tell us if this is medicine or not, and then you've got the scared healthcare professionals drug testing and acting like cops and going to turn you in if you test positive. I mean, it's upside down.
Yeah. It's shameful is what it is, and you were right in saying that it's criminal. They've sentenced so many Americans to death by keeping this medicine unavailable, and I particularly refer to cancer patients.
Exactly. There have been people who've been on the transplant list for whether it be a liver transplant or other organ, and very often they're using cannabis to actually keep themselves alive until they can get the transplant. And there have been cases where once the physicians find out they use cannabis, they've taken them off the list, and the patient dies.
Amazing.
Even if it's been a patient whose physician recommended the cannabis, then the transplant team decides, oh no, and they take them off the list and let them die. So it's just amazing. Patients are dying because they can't get this medicine. People are being, and here's one other thing. America, wake up. This is the most atrocious thing. I just find it unbelievable. We've all heard about SWAT teams. When they first came about, the whole purpose was for these highly effective police officers to be called in when there's a hostage situation, or there's some crazy shooter holed up in some place, being a sniper at civilians or something, something where life and death is at hand, and we need, real highly trained police officers to get in there and help. Well, that
Right.
has now turned into a craze across the United States, and it's like, wake up, America. This is very, very scary.
It is. It's extremely scary. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because think about this. The SWAT team is trained more like the military. You've got an enemy and you're out there to kill. Whereas a police officer is supposed to serve and protect the public. But now they're getting more and more military training. Every police station around the country here, especially in the big cities they have one. In other places, they want their own SWAT team. Well, how do you keep a SWAT team effective? You've got to keep sending them out on missions so that they can be highly trained. And they've been using them a lot.
It seems like they're
bust.
Right. Yeah,
and of
it
course,
seems
what
like
problems do you get into? Well, faulty information. They go to the wrong house. They have shot people to death because they've been in the wrong house.
Yeah.
You know, they blast in the door. In one place, I think it was some grandma. You know, she had a weapon by her bedside, and she was pulling it out to defend herself, not knowing who's coming in, and the next thing you know, grandma's blown away.
Oh.
Right before our conference, there was an organization called Soccer Moms. How's that for, Mother's Day? But an organization, Soccer Moms, that was providing medications, cannabis medications for patients in Arizona. They were in northern Arizona. They thought they were doing everything according to Arizona law. And again, this gets to the point that a lot of patients don't smoke marijuana, smoke cannabis. They vaporize to limit any smoke, or they take it in some kind of tincture form where it can get absorbed rapidly into the blood system through the mouth. You know, just a few drops in the mouth and getting absorbed into the system, or edibles. Well, anyway, the Soccer Moms was making some products for patients, and they thought they were doing everything fine.